Just felt how tight that was. So for about 3 days, I've been looking for something. And just a little battery that my mom gave me. And like, I know where it is. But I can't find it. And I've looked through everything and I'm like, and I'm concerned because it usually lives on my desk that it may have gotten knocked off into the trash can. That's a bad thing because I've lost things that way before. So I'm like, okay. And this morning I'm looking around and I point to the spot. I said, it lives right here. It lives right here. This is where it should be. And I go off and do something else. My partner goes over there to the exact spot that I said it was right there. The problem is I didn't move the two things that were on top of it. Because I expected to be able to see it, but it kind of blended into the table. Yeah. So sometimes you cannot see what is literally in front of your face. And that's why it's always nice to have other people who, help you look for things. 'Cause, yeah, it was right in front of me. It was right under my nose and I could not see it. And he just laughed at me. Honestly, he just laughed at me. So, he's like, it's right here, right where you said it was. 'Cause it was right where I knew where it was. But the more I looked for it, the more I was anxious about it. That made it harder for me to find it. As my anxiety was picking up, like I couldn't see it. So that is the benefit of having other people in your life that can remain calm when you cannot. That is the lesson from me today. Oh, all right. And it's a lesson I know. And that's what I told him. I said, once I'm out of the house, feel free to look for it because then I won't be anxious about it. He didn't wait for me to be out of the house. He waited for me to be out of the room. All right. I do need to give you a quick programming note and then we'll do the housekeeping. And all the quick programming note is that I'm taking tomorrow off. We are going to go play. And we're going to be up and out early. So I'm going to take a break, not do this tomorrow, but I will be back with you on Sunday. So, and I'll say this at the end too. All right. So the housekeeping is simply me reminding you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. The website is creativelife.org. The constant contact email is info@creativelife.org. That, lets you, you get one email a week, tells you what's going on for the week and the month, and it is a blind CC. Nobody sees your email. You won't end up on anybody else's email list because of us. And it's a constant, no, hang on. I don't know. The hot links are hot. Click here now. It'll take you right to the information of the person you can want. Okay, let's talk about the social medias really quick and then we'll move on. So we do not monetize the social medias simply because we don't want you, we don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do is to engage with our posts. When you engage with our posts, it bumps us in the algorithms. So go like, subscribe, share, follow, comment the channel and the posts. We would appreciate it. So for all of the people that continue to like and love our posts, thank you very much. It bumps us in the algorithms. Okay, I guess I should tell you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark, and I'm the running of Ryan on the social medias I am on. There we go. That should be everything. All right. So what we are doing is Living the Science of Mind. This is a collection of essays from his take-home course, from Ernest Holmes' take-home course. So that's the description. That's where the essays came from. The description on the essays is his, commentary on the textbook. So, this is Ernest, but what it feels to me like is because the take-home course was at the back of the Science of Mind magazine, you literally mailed off for it. I mean, you would get a lesson every week for 48 weeks. What what I like about it is it feels like these are questions that somebody came up to Ernest and said, hey, explain this to me. And that's what he's doing. So he is answering questions, and it definitely feels very, very personal, very one-on-one, like he's talking directly to us. The textbook was definitely more, what's the word? Logical, thought out, but not, it doesn't have the warmth that Living the Science, which is why people love the Living the Science Mind so much, including me, and I've really enjoyed it. So we've got a really short one today, which is good because I'm a little bit behind this morning. The title is The Silent One Within Us. This is it. So let's see what Ernest has got to say about the silent one within us. We find this saying in the Upanishad: the silent one, the knower, ever resting in us, may walk, stand, sit, lie down, and not do anything at his sweet will. And in our Bible, it says, I will work, and who shall let hinder it? What are these but statements of the absoluteness of the Supreme as the all-conquering power of the Spirit? And this all-conquering power of the Spirit finds self-expression through humanity. This Supreme Being is at the center of each one of us. To it we may come for guidance, and from it we may draw both inspiration and the power to live, stand, walk, or sit. Every act is an outcome of consciousness. Every movement is within the divine being. And since the divine being is everywhere, it must also be at the center of our own lives. It is not only at the center of our own life, it is that center. Hence, to think of it as the very essence of our own being is clear thinking. To know that its being is our being is right knowing, and to declare that its life is our life is to permit its power to flow through us. In various classes and in ministerial school, one of the concepts that we would use is called the observer. And sometimes it's one of those grounding exercises that you can use. Terry, she's a practitioner with us. Well, she's one of our distance practitioners, Terry Berger. She talks about the observer a lot, about sometimes what we need to do, and probably what I needed to do this morning was to step back and observe, like to step out of my body and think about the observer. Because sometimes we get so caught up in the materialness that we forget that this isn't it, that the materialness isn't it, that it's the spiritual behind the spiritual idea behind the material reality. And when I say material reality, I'm going to use the lowercase r. And when I say spiritual reality, I'm using the uppercase R for reality, because the material world is constantly coming into form and going out of form. It's coming from spirit and going into spirit. And so sometimes what we need to do is go back and think about the observer, to think about that part of ourselves that is not caught up in the material. And when we can do that, it can be extraordinarily calming, especially if you're winding yourself up about something. If you can step back and be the observer instead of the participant, because you're both, you are absolutely both. You are both the observer and the participant. But when you can step into the observer role is eternal. The observer role has all the time in the world. And so it can be very calming. And so what Ernest is reminding us is at the center of our being is that observer. And that observer is the individualized center of the divine. our home in the divine. That's that part within us. And when we make a conscious effort to connect to that, as he said at the end, one, we have a place to go for guidance. We have a place to go for guidance that absolutely will give us the best advice and guidance and advice. That was what I was trying to combine two words. Because it's tailored specifically to us. It has nothing to do with anybody else. Because when you go to anybody else for guidance or advice, it's always going to be colored by their own experience. But when we go to that part of ourselves, that divine part of ourselves, that's tailored to us. That guidance is strictly about us. But when we consciously connect with that silent part of ourselves, that's when we open up the channel. I have a phrase and I haven't used it in a while because, I grew up in the suburbs, loosely in the country. At one point I did live, one of the houses we had 4 acres of land around it. Well, I am that generation that drank out of garden hoses. And I am also that generation that kinked hoses. And so sometimes what we have to do is get off the hose. Like when we go consciously to connect with that divine center of ourselves, we unkink the hose. Because you know what it's like we all do. If I have a younger sibling, I have a younger brother. Of course I stepped on the hose when he was looking at it and then stepped off of it or, let go of it. And so he got a squirt of water in his face and he did it to me. Don't think that, and of course our dad did it to both of us. So, but that's what it is. That's about that connecting with that silent part of ourselves, that divine part of ourselves. We unkink the hose. We let that divine power and guidance and life and creativity flow through us when we do it consciously. We unkink the hose. And it is about connecting with that silent part of ourselves. So it's partly, it is sometimes about being willing to connect with the observer, to get out of the material nonsense. And sometimes it's about just getting your foot off the hose and letting that divine part of yourself flow through. All right. That's my story and I'm sticking to it today. So I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a take care of business day, a let's wrap this week up day, a cuddle your fur babies day, a do what you got to do day, a you got this day, a tell somebody you love them day, a do something just for you day, a take a step back into the observer day, a remember who you are day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You're a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark, spirit in motion, God in action, a beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, and at your own pace. You are working on that masterpiece at your own pace. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. Explore the truth of your being. That is what the reading today is about. It's about getting to know that silent part of you, getting to know who the divine knows you to be, getting to know that divine part of yourself. All right? Because the divine knows you to be good. It's all the divine knows. And from there, anything is possible. Anything at all is possible. All right, beloveds. So Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will miss you tomorrow. I will think about you tomorrow, and you can think about me having fun tomorrow. I will be back with you on Sunday about 8:45. All right, beloveds. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.